What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, unified, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer Errol Spence Jr. makes mention that he would love to face off against four-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez when everything clears up at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. He says at 160. He says that he and Canelo Alvarez are about the same size. Canelo Alvarez is, very short and stocky, but they're about the same size. If he's not a little bit bigger, he said Canelo Alvarez is not that big of a guy. He says that would be a massive fight at 160. I don't mind going up to 160 and challenging Saul Canelo Alvarez. He says when everything clears up and fans are allowed to attend in person and be able to pack out Dallas Cowboys Stadium, not just have limitations on the amount of fans that's able to attend live in person. He says then that's the fight that he would love to have at 160 at some point in time, maybe in 2022 or late 2021. With that said, the possibility of this fight happening is slim to none. And why do I say that? For one, Saul Canelo Alvarez is not going to come down to 160. He is campaigning at 168. He says his best weight is at 160. He campaigned at 175 for one fight against Sergey Kovalev, to conquer a fourth weight class and be a champion in four divisions. He's a champion at 154, 160, 68, and 75. Right now, he's looking to fight Avni Yildirim at 168, super middleweight division. But that seems to be his comfort zone, 168. Now, will Canelo come down for a big fight? Canelo Alvarez will come down at a catchweight. He will make Errol Spence fight at 165, 164, something of that nature, right? Because he knows he has an advantage at the higher weight classes, right? So unless Errol Spence is campaigning at 160 for quite some time, then Canelo Alvarez fight is being talked about or starting to be negotiated. Canelo Alvarez is going to try and make Errol Spence fight at 165 at a catchweight, 164 at the lowest, right? He's going to say that now like I said, he said his best weight, his most comfortable weight and his best weight is at 160. But at 160, there's fighters like Jamal Charlo, there's fighters like Demetrius Andrade, and Canelo Alvarez has zero interest in fighting any of these guys. Now, maybe he take the opportunity against Errol Spence because maybe he looks at it as Errol Spence. He has an advantage over Errol Spence, seeing as though Errol Spence campaigns at the welterweight division. He is considered a big welterweight. He's 5'9". He walks around quite heavy. He stated that sometimes he walks around in the 180s, right? So maybe Canelo Alvarez looks and says, I got an advantage over Errol Spence, and I'm gonna take advantage of my advantage, and maybe he accepts the challenge, at 160, right? But in my opinion, I'm hard pressed to see this because, for one, Errol Spence is, a southpaw. He can box. He shows that he has mobility, and he shows that he has a high ring generalship, and he can be slick on defense. That's not Canelo Alvarez's style of opponents. That's not who he would favor, to go up against, right? So I find it hard pressed to believe that Canelo Alvarez will come down to 160 and challenge Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is listed at 5'10", but he's about 5'9", 5'9" and a half, 72-inch arm reach, 72-inch arm reach. He fights at the welterweight division. 26-0, 21 by way of knockout. But he showed us that he has the ability to box, right? He could be slick. He could be defensive. That's not who Canelo Alvarez wants to face. Canelo Alvarez wants an opponent. He could pretty much dictate, the tempo. He could dictate the fight, and he could do what he does best. Canelo has very fast hands, but he has very slow feet. Canelo Alvarez is 5'8", 70.5-inch arm reach. So Errol Spence has an inch taller than Canelo Alvarez. Errol Spence has he's 2 inches arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez 53-1, 2 draws, 36 by way of knockout, and he is 30 years of age. They're about the same age. So, I agree with Errol Spence. It would be a massive pay-per-view event. if it came to fruition. But like I said, I'm hard pressed to see Canelo Alvarez come down to 160 to challenge Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence has to be a champion at that point because Canelo Alvarez is looking to accomplish and add on to his legacy. So Errol Spence will have to be a champion. Errol Spence will have to bring something to the table other than his namesake. It would have to be at a catchweight. So I know everybody started drooling over it and started getting their hopes up, but I find it very, very hard pressed unless Errol Spence campaigns at 160 and the fight take place at a catchweight because Canelo Alvarez is going to say it needs to be at the catchweight. It's not going to happen. As far as stylistically wise, I think it would be an interesting fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Errol Spence can't stand in the pocket with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has very, very fast hands. He's very good at counter punching. He's very mobile at moving, at bending at the hips, right? He doesn't have the fastest feet in the world. So Errol Spence will have to use his reach advantage. He would have to use his southpaw advantage, and he would have to fight from range and not allow Canelo Alvarez to get on the inside because Canelo Alvarez, in this instinct, is definitely going to be the stronger fighter and the harder puncher. And he puts combinations together. He has faster hands than Errol Spence as well, and he puts combinations together very, very well. And he's a great counter puncher. So Errol Spence absolutely cannot stand in the pocket with Canelo Alvarez. He will have to box Canelo Alvarez from range, and he will have to stay disciplined for all 12 rounds and box him from the outside. Not allow Canelo Alvarez to be able to trick him and get on the inside and cause problems. He will have to fight how Amir Khan fought in the first half of their fight, but don't make the mistakes of Amir Khan standing in the pocket too long because Canelo Alvarez is a big puncher with very, very fast hands and puts combinations together very, very well. So this is a tricky fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I would have to see Errol Spence garner more experience boxing from the outside. It's a tricky fight, man. It's 50-50. I would lean towards Errol Spence because he's more versatile, in my opinion. He has faster feet, but he has to stay disciplined for 12 rounds to beat Canelo Alvarez. So as far as that goes, that's how I see it. But if it's happening, I don't see it happening. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all of the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.